Hi, I just wanted to show an option that if you're installing a Curt Hitch on a 2015 Subaru Outback, instead of opening up the hole underneath on the frame rail, you do have the option to pull off this piece of tape in your trunk cavity and open up this hole here to provide access to install your fasteners. So once you have removed everything from the trunk compartment and gotten access to the hole, choose your preferred method to open up the hole and you should be able to fish your fasteners through. I'll give it a shot here. Okay, with the hole big enough, then it's just fishing your wire here up to this hole from the bottom hole. Once you got the end, always remember to put your plate on first and then screw your fastener into that to the end. Fish the backing plate down, fish the fastener down. And it fits through just fine, so you can always follow that method if you don't want to open up the hole underneath your car to where it might corrode easier, and you can leave the rubber plug in underneath your frame. I would just proceed forward, and I'm going to mount the rest of the hitch in the second hole. I'm not going to show the hitch installation because there's plenty of videos for that, but I just wanted to show this other option in case somebody wanted to go about this method to install their hitch. A couple more points. After you've mounted your hitch and installed the wiring, and I'd recommend using that Curt wiring kit. It works real good on the Outback, and I won't cover it here because there's several other videos that cover it real well already out there. But for the holes that you did open up to put in the hardware to mount the hitch, I'd recommend putting a little template and spraying a little bit of primer just to prep that hole so it won't rust in the future. Also, what I'm doing is covering up each of those openings with some really good duct tape. I have some Gorilla duct tape that I use and will apply to the hole. Also, after you do wire your harness to your Outback, I tend not to like laying it out the door like a lot of places recommend. There's a nice rubber drain plug in the floor of the wheel well. I just cut a slit through mine, and then you just pass the plug through that slit and then run the plug out to your hitch. And then I'm getting a bracket for my hitch that'll hold the plug on there. But I think that's the best way to go in running your wire outside of your car. Okay, this is just one more shot showing with the foam insert reinstalled over the access hole that we taped up and had primered. I always like to leave the fuse exposed, so I always remember that it's there if I need to go deal with a light problem. And this is the final routing of the wire in this wheel well, showing it exiting out the rubber plug going to the hitch. And I'll show a picture of the hitch bracket momentarily. I wanted to show one more shot with the spare tire mounted and how the wire exits out here. There's no concerns here with it chafing against the tire. And also putting back in the piece of foam here, how that mates in, and your wire easily goes down in between there without getting pinched. Also putting back in the floor trim pieces, they easily go on without any problem of pinching the wire. And that's the basic installation. The last part, hooking up the plug on the back of your hitch, if you so choose, is to use some brackets. They're available from Curt. This one here will attach to the actual hitch itself. And what you do is you take the plug from the that you ran down through the trunk, pass it through the bracket. The bracket goes up over the hitch itself, and the bracket is then secured with a hose clamp to the hitch. And you just proceed to tighten the hose clamp down. Yeah, you can finish up tightening up the hose clamp. That takes a 8mm socket. Get that complete. Make sure that when you pass your cord through that you didn't pinch it with the hose clamp when you attached it to the hitch itself. I'm going to cut off the tail of the hose clamp so it's just not in the way to get hung up on anything. The next step is you're going to want to attach or install the hitch plug into the Curt bracket. And what you do, there's two flared ends. Those are going to face to the rear of the car. You pass the plug in there and then it snaps into there. There's some real rubber ridges here that engage those. And then the plug is held to the bracket by two fasteners. I have a couple little bolts here. The Curt kit that I got did not include any fasteners, so you have to provide those on your own. So just installing a couple nuts and washers here. Okay, and with those two fasteners installed, you just need to tighten them up. And really, you're all done. There's a little cap that comes in the kit with the wire bundle, and that slipped around earlier. You just slip the cap over that, and that protects your plug when it's not in use. And with that, you're all done, and that's what the final installation looks like once it's installed.